everyone. My name is Dr. Manisha Gupta and I am Assistant Professor in Noida Institute of Engineering Technology in MBA department. And I welcome you in our business research method class. And in today's session, we are going to discuss about the probability sampling. And in the probability sampling, we are going to discuss the following types of the probability sampling: simple random sampling, systematic sampling, stratified random sampling, and your area sampling. So, we get the basic understanding that what is the probability sampling. The probability sampling, the sampling where the members of the all the members of the population will get the opportunity to be included in a sample. So, that is basically your probability sampling, and in the probability sampling, this is the first type of the sample, and which is one of the simplest type of the sampling is your simple random sampling. And what do you mean by the simple random sampling? Here, so all the member have the same chance probability for being selected, and the random method provided in an unbiased cross section of the population, and the equal probability of the sampling method. They get the equal chance or probability to be the part of the sampling method, and the selection of the one item of the inclusion of the sample should be no way to influence the selection of the other item. Means if the one item is selected, means one sample is selected, then their selection does not affect the selection of the another item or the another sample, and it should be basically used when your population is homogeneous, and that is the population consists of the item that possess the sample attribute that the researcher is being interested in. And this type of the sample is basically used when we have a homogeneous population. Means homogeneous population means the population which have the similar characteristics. The characteristics of the homogeneity may include such as, in the what criteria you should say that we have the homogeneous population. It may be they may have the included on the basis of the similar age group, similar gender, income, social or the religious, political or geographical area or the region. On these basis they may have the similar characteristics, and the best way to choose a simple random sampling is to use random number table. You are going to use random number table, and the sampling method should meet the following criteria. And in this type of the sampling method, there is a few of the criteria. First is, every member of the population must have the equal chance of the inclusion in a sample. Means every single member of the population. Suppose there is a 10,000 customers, then every single customer get the equal chance to become a part of your sample if you are conducting the study on those customer or on those particular brand customer. The second thing is that the selection of the one member does not affect the selection of the previous member. Means if you are selecting the one member or selecting the one sample, it does not affect the selection of the any other sample either previously or afterward. So, in this there is a two type of the approach is used in your simple random sampling. First is your lottery approach, second is your table of the random numbers. So, what is happen in the lottery approach, that each, suppose there is a n number of the population, then every number of the population are assigned a unique number. Suppose there is 100 customer and you want to only collect the sample of it, and you decided that you will take 10%. So, you want to collect data from the only 10 customers. So, what you do? You put the name or assign the certain number to the every single customers. Then this is type of the sampling is known as your fishbowl sampling, and the number, first of all you have to assign the unique number to the every customer. Then what you do? The number are placed in the ball and thoroughly mixed. Then what we are going to do? We put all the name in a ball and we mix to those. Then the blindfolded research select the n numbers. Then what proportion we want to use in a research. Suppose you want to use only the 10% of the total population, then you will select one blindfold member is going to select the 10 numbers or the 10 papers, put it 10 papers from that bowl, and the population member should having the selected the number are included in your sample. Then whatever the number is come up, whatever, because initially we assign the unique number to the every sample, then whatever the number is coming out, then we should include those sample in our study. And if the universe is infinite, this method is not applicable. Sampling method is basically applicable when your universe is finite. If their universe is infinite type, then this method is not appropriate. Then second method is your table of the random number. The number of what we are going to do in this, the number of the table are so constructed that all the digit 0 to 9 appear inadequately for each other with the equal frequency. Means all the number should be appear with the equal frequency from 0 to 9. Suppose if we have selected the sample from the population size of the n is 100. Suppose your population size is 100, then the number can be combined thereby 3 to give a number from 001 to 100. Then the combination of the 3 digit from the 001 to the 100, you can select the sample from those. You just pick the number, and when the size of the population is less than 1000, then the 3 digit number, means if you are taking the sample whose size is less than 1000, suppose the maximum size is 999, then you will name the number from 00 to this way and assigned it. I show you the just example of it. In the lottery method, it is just take an example like you put the number to the every customer like 43, 214, 513, and you just to put in this box, and then someone who is blindfold just to pick the few numbers from that box. So this is your lottery method. Then take the example of your the table random number. So here the population is given and you assign the number to the every single population. You just select randomly. Suppose here the population is just like it is in a 10,000. So you just pick. You gave every single customer with the 5 digit numbers and you will place in the table, and you just randomly select them from the table. What is the basically advantage of your simple random sampling? The advantage of the simple random sampling, because it require less knowledge about the characteristics of the population. In these type of the population, because basically we are using our population is a homogeneous in nature. So if you may have the less knowledge of the population, then that is also be okay. Then since the sample are selected at the random, give each member of the population is a equal chance. Here every single member get the equal opportunity. Next is sample can be called as a unbiased sample. Here what is happening? The sample is called a unbiased sample because we are just selecting randomly sample from a whole group, and the biases due to the human preference of the influence is eliminated in this method. Then assessment of the accuracy of the result is possible by the sampling error estimate, and this method the assessment of the accuracy of the result is possibly by sample error estimation. The next is it is simple and the practical method and provide the population size is not lost, and it is happen because here the population size is not very large. So these are the basically the advantage of your simple random sample. Then what is the disadvantage? The first disadvantage is if your population size is large and the greater deal of the time must be time listing and numbering the member of the population. if you choose the lottery method or the number method and you have the very large population. So, if you are going to list them and you are going to choose lottery method or you are going to choose the table number method, then listing every customer in the number is a very time taking process. Then the simple random sample will not adequately represent the many population characteristics unless the sample is very large, and that is if the researcher is interested in choosing the sample on the basis of the distribution of the sample of the gender, age, social status. A simple random sample need to be the very large to ensure that the all these distribution represent your population. Means you should choose the appropriate number of the sample which will represent the population, because it is applicable if your sample size is small, but when the sample size is large, then it is difficult to choose. Next is to obtain the representative sample across the multiple population attributes should be stratified random sampling. Suppose and this type of the research is not appropriate when you are using the heterogeneous population. In the heterogeneous population, we should choose the stratified random sampling instead of the simple random sampling. Now, we talk about the systematic random sampling. So, you get the brief understanding what is a random sampling. In the random sampling, we are going to choose the sample randomly, and in this everyone get the equal opportunity, and the choice of the one sample means, suppose if you are selecting one sample, it does not affect the selecting of the other sample, and that was your simple random sampling. What is happening in your systematic random sampling? This is also the method of your probability sampling, in which the definite target population is ordered. Means you are selecting the sample in a certain order. You define the target population order, and the first node of the sample is selected randomly, and the rest of the sample is selected according to the position using the skip interval. Suppose in this type of the research, you select first sample randomly, but the rest of the sample you are going to select at a certain interval. Suppose you are conducting the study on the basis of the mall culture in your NCR region. So, you select the one person entering into the mall, then after that suppose you apply certain rule, like after that every 10th person who is entering into a mall will be your sample. So, you are selecting the sample after every particular interval, like after every 10 customer, every 10 person who is entering in your mall will become your sample. This is basically is example of your fixed interval method, and this method of the sampling is a alternative to the random sampling, and it consists the every nth item, means every nth item of the population after the random started and the item from 1 to 100. Suppose you are collecting the sample, means you are selecting the customer who is entering into the shop from morning. You select the one sample. After that, every 5th customer or the 10th customer is coming in your shop, you are taking them as your sample. So, this is the example of your systematic random sampling, and in this type of the sampling, the interval between the sample unit is fixed. I have taken the earlier example, like you are studying on the conducting research on the mall culture in the Delhi NCR region. Then what you are going to do, that you are going to make a certain rule that every 10th customer which is entering into the mall, or the 10th person entering into the mall, is your target population. So, the interval is got fixed, you fixed the interval. Then this method is also known as fixed interval method, and arrange all the unit in the population in the order by giving the serial number from 1 to 10th. You give them serial number from 1 to 10th in this method, and determining the sample interval by dividing the population by the number of the sample size, either by Kn1. We use a certain formula, suppose depend upon the how many customer entering in that mall per day. So on that basis, suppose that 10,000 customers is entering into the mall, and you want to know and you are trying to take that what will be your proportion of that sample. Suppose you are taking only the 10% of the population. So on that 10% of the population, we will decide our sample size and how much people and what interval should be taken. Suppose you are taking the 10%, then you should use the interval of the every 10th person which is entering into the mall. Then select the first sample unit randomly from the first sample interval. Whatever you are choosing first, it should be random. Then selected subset sampling unit at a equal interval. Then this is just an example of the your simple random sampling. Suppose there is a number of the person of the coming, then you try to take one person randomly, and after that you are selecting the sample who is coming every third person. So this is example of your systematic random sampling. After the every 2 persons interval, you are choosing your sample. Will be depend upon the sample size and your type of the research. Next is your what are the advantage and the disadvantage of your systematic sampling method. The advantage of the systematic sampling method is basically is that it is a more expeditious to collect the sample survey, and since the time taken and the work involved is less than the simple random sampling method. Because if you take an example like the lottery system या फिर table random sampling system, these type of the study take less time, because you just mark the interval that the every 4th person who is coming, every fifth person is coming will be your sample. So this is the most easiest method than your simple random sampling, and also it is a most take less time, because in the simple random sampling if you go for the lottery sampling, then first of all what you have to do, you have to assign the number to the every single customer. So these things we do not have to do in this type of the sampling. For example, the frequency used in the exit polls and the store of the customer. These are the few example of your systematic random sampling. So then what is the disadvantage of this type of the sampling is, every unit of the population does not have the equal chance of being selected, and the selection of the unit for the sample depend upon the initial unit of the selection. Here every single unit did not get the equal chance, and the selection of the all the unit after the first unit will depend upon the who is the first sample you are choosing, and regardless we select the first unit of the sample, subsequently the unit is are automatically determined that how we are going to collect the data from the rest of the sample, or how we are going to choose the rest of the sample. Then this is basically the lack of your stratified systematic random sampling. Now we talk about the stratified random sampling. In the stratified random sampling, we make the strata in the population, or we divide the population, and after we divide the population we select from the every strata. So basically the stratified means strata or subdivision. In the stratified random sampling is used where the population is basically your heterogeneous. First to sampling technique we use when we have the homogeneous population, but when we have the heterogeneous population, then we are going to use a stratified random sampling. Then the heterogeneous population is composed of the unlike elements such as male, female, rural, urban, literate, illiterate, high income, low income group, etc. Suppose if you are conducting the study in the organization about the employee satisfaction, then you can bifurcate the sample on the basis of the designation, on the basis of their profile, on the basis of their job type. So these type of the strata you can prepare in your sample. then in such cases the use of the sample random sampling may not be always provided and representative to the sample of the population. In the stratified random sampling, we divide the population with the relative homogeneous group, means which is called strata. Suppose you are conducting the study in a telecom company. Take an example of any telecom company. You want to conduct the study in the telecom company and want to understand the satisfaction level of the employee. So, first of all, what you can do? You can divide the employees on the basis of their job, then their management level, either they are in the lower management level, they are in a middle management level, or they are in a senior management level. So, you can divide the population on these types. It may be have some HR department, maybe have finance department, maybe have marketing department, there may be technical department. So, you can divide the population first of all on the basis of the job, and you further divided the population on the basis of their management level. So, this division is basically called as strata. Then we should select the sample using the simple random sampling, and when you divide the population in a strata, suppose you take one strata like HR department, and HR department there is a clerk. So, when you are going to collect from that particular profile or that particular management level, it should be random. You should not select deliberately, means you cannot choose random method to select the sample from that particular strata. That is why it is called as stratified random sampling, because first we stratified the sample, and after stratified the sample means you divide the sample. After that, from the every sample you are collecting the sample by a random method or the simple random sampling method. There are the two approach of the, this is basically given the example that suppose you are choosing the satisfaction, you are studying on the students. So, they may be divided on the basis of suppose 10th class student, 12th class student, graduate or post graduate. So, you divide the population on the basis of the level of the graduation, and then you collect the data from those level. There is a two method of the stratified random sampling. First is proportionately stratified sampling. Second is disproportionate stratified method. Suppose there is a two strata is given. Here in the first there is a 20 respondent, here there is a 10 respondent, and you want to collect the data on the basis of the 10%. So, what we can do, 10% of the 10 is you take 1 from here, then you should choose 2 from here. So, this example of your proportionately stratified random sampling, means on the every strata you collect the data in a certain proportion, like you are choosing 10% from the sample. So, from the person means from the strata we have the only 10 numbers, you choose 1, where there is a 100 you choose 10 out of 100, because 10 is a 10% of the 100 sample unit. But in the disproportionate sampling method, what we can do, suppose again take the similar example, like here is the 10 number and 20 number. In this method what you are going to choose, you choose 2 member from each group, you choose 2 member from here and 2 member from here. This is the example of your disproportionate stratified sampling. What is the advantage of this sampling technique? Since the sample are drawn from the each segment, then you will get the proper presentation of the all type of the population. Means if your population is a heterogeneous, then the every population which have the similar characteristic, so you get the representation of the all type of the people. Second is it is more precise and it avoid biasness in your study. Then since the sample size can be less, and in this method it saves lots of time and money and the other resource for the data collection, and these type of the technique used when you have a small size. What is the major disadvantage of the stratified random sampling? major disadvantage is that the stratified random sampling dedicate knowledge of the distribution of the attribute or the characteristics of interest in the people to determine the homogeneous group. Means depend upon the how we prepare a homogeneous group. If you cannot identify the homogeneous group properly, then it is going to distort your data and you will not get, and if you will not get the proper data, and since the improper stratification can lead to the serious error. Next is preparing the stratified list is a difficult task and the list may not be readily available, and sometimes you cannot properly stratify your data or your population. Last is your area sampling. The area sampling method is used when no complete frame reference is available. Means you may not able to complete the frame or the sampling frame for the reference is available. Then the total area investigated is divided into small sub area which is the sample at a random. And in this method what we can do, that you just divide the whole population into small subgroup, and from the every subgroup you will collect the data randomly, and according to a restricted process stratification or the sampling. Each of the chosen sub area is then fully inspected and enumerated and may form the basis of the further sampling is desired. The area sampling involve the sampling from basically how you can make a sample from map, from an aerial photograph or the similar area frame, and it is often the sampling method of the choosing the sample frame is not available. Means if you cannot able to make the sampling frame, then you just simply divide the sample on the basis of the area, like on the basis of the city, locality, you just collect the data from those area. And for example, the example is there, the city map can be divided into the equal size of the equal block from which the random sample can be drawn. Although the area sample is more often associated with the map, and sometimes the sample may be drawn from these lists, but these type of the sampling has the problem that it may be chances that for the purpose you are collecting the data and the sample which you have chosen may not be the true representative of your population. Thank you everyone. This is all for the day. In the next class we will do the cluster sampling, and then we are going to continue with our non-probability sampling method. Thanks everyone.